तो मैं बुलाता हूँ, हमारे यहाँ गुड़िया है महादेवी, और उसके बाद मैं बुलाऊंगा हमारी गुड़िया है पूजा। तो क्योंकि हमारी मजबूरी है, कार्यक्रम तो हम हिंदी में करते हैं, लेकिन हमारे बीच में आमंत्रित अतिथि केरल से आए हैं, उनकी सुविधा के लिए मैंने आपसे पहले क्षमा याचना की है कि हम हिंदी और अंग्रेजी दोनों भाषाओं में टूटे फूटे तरीके से अभिव्यक्त करेंगे। तो मैं चाहता हूं कि महादेवी जो है अंग्रेजी भाषा में डॉक्टर कोहली की संक्षिप्त जीवनी आप लोगों को बतावें। So I asked Mahadevi to read the brief biography of Dr. Kohli for our guest. Mahadevi.
I am orphan girl Mahadevi. With all humility and humbleness, my pranamas to kind Guruji, caring Deviji. My adorations, regards and namaskars to all guests, observers, viewers and evaluators and well-wishers on the dais and in the audience, including respected Uncle Sriman Umesh Chaube ji of Nagpur, respected Uncle Kalanathan ji of Keralam, respected Uncle Harish Deshmukh ji of Nagpur, respected Uncle Sukumaran ji of Keralam, respected Uncle Rukeshwaram ji, and respected Uncle Hari Bhau Pathode ji, and respected Uncle Krishan Kumar Yadav ji, and our loving auntie Srimati Nirja Yadav ji, all respected seniors, brothers, sisters and all affectionate children. I am overwhelmed with pleasure that despite of my burden of caring and university studies on this poor and persecuted institute, I am kindly privileged to read out the great, although the briefest biography of the kind-hearted, responsible, rational, human and tirelessly responsible well-wishers of the humankind and elevated and evoluted freethinkers. Revered Dr. G. Kohli ji, in this great congregation intending to observe his 26th demise anniversary, probably what I never deserved, I am obliged to kind Guruji to offer me this responsibility. I am from a backwards rural Hindi medium school background, so beg to kindly pardon me wherever and however I am mistaken in reading out this paper for you all. Revered Dr. G. Kohli ji, DSc, DP, D Psychiatry, etc. The renowned philosopher, educationist, culturist, psychiatrist and sociologist expired on 23rd October 1986 in his rented poor hut in Malaktoli, Main Road, Ranchi of Jharkhand State at 3:30 am. He born in New Street, Rawalpindi, now in Pakistan on 15th November 1915. His father's name was Lala Malak Chand Kohli, who was a banker. He passed matriculation examination in March 1932 from DAV College, Rawalpindi of Punjab University, Lahore. Intermediate examination from the same college in April 1934 and BA from Gordon College, Rawalpindi of the same university in 1936. While studying in BA, In 1935, he started thinking for a middle way solution for the world problems as well as individual problems. When the world was passing through World War First situations, he found sectarianism, nationalistic patriotism, religionism, racism, and casteism were the major sources for creating both macro and micro problems in the human world. He thought an intermediate way for their smooth solution through education and reformation. He named his method as humanitarianism. In 1936, he started editing two fortnightly. One was in English titled The Reformer and the second was in Urdu titled Berozgar Hindustan to spread his approaches. In the same year, he was selected as the executive officer of the criminal trials area. Got the job because of his disliking for the type of work. On 16 February 1940, he joined the British Indian Army as a simple constable under a pay scale of rupees 19 only. When the officer in charge came to know about his qualification and high genius, just after 1 month of his joining, he was promoted to a post of Viceroy's Commissioned Officer in the Royal India Service Corps. There he started his most controversial spiritual movement within the army. His spiritualism was an unconscious substitution of faith with ethical values by broadening the dimension of empathy in the hearts of the individual soldiers. He believed that the typical army training makes the soldiers externally disciplined, but plantation of broader ethics in their hearts can make them perfect human beings with all necessary inner values. He believed that by this way, bigotry, fanaticism, hatred, and all other lowness in thinking and behavior could be reduced. For him, army atmosphere was more favorable than the civil society. As per his concepts, the then civil society in India was a headless mob who had no concept of discipline, no sanitation, no thinking, and full of thought of rebelling egoism. He thought that each and every soldier with a sense of material discipline and a rich spiritual and ethical values when go back to the civil society would act as a moving monument and school to illustrate the life of a perfect human being. He thought that this could bring an unconscious change in the civil society, making a foundation for a healthy social change. He conceived that a conscious change among people is not so easy or even not possible also. People accept all conscious approaches and act just as one does in a drama, and in the inner life they remain the same with an increased amount of hypocrisy. Therefore, he was in favor of an unconscious change. He was also a good singer. On November 26, 1944, on the day of Gita Jayanti, he started his first application on the soldiers by distributing his most attractive booklet, Gita as I Understood It, to army officers. After that event, he continued movement by arranging concerts and theatres. He was composing songs to express his touching ideas and also using songs of some popular psycho spiritual activists of the past. He had it as they liked the ethical and reformative ideas of this young man. He was stressing on creating a religious education course in which the religious teachers would be ranked as VCOs. That had become a matter of consideration for the British Army officials. It was the hottest time when Europe was preparing for World War II and Quit India movement was in full swing. Therefore, GOA's activities were suspected as a planful entry to create rebellion in the army. In the consequence, he was suspended and the brilliant army intelligence officials conducted a close investigation in so many terms and processes regarding the peculiar but ethically sound cultural activities of this young soldier of 25. The then Commander-in-Chief of British Indian Army Allied Land Force wrote his opinion and report regarding him as the motives of Mr. Coley has been closely investigated, but nothing has appeared to suggest that these are encouragements. The same was the opinion of Major General G.W. Science, GBMC, GOC in Chief of Command and the GSI of 14th Army. The Army authorities felt the need of following the desires expressed by Kohli Sahab and for which he was to undergo serious and painful processes of court-martial. The Army authorities accepted his proposal to provide a permanent rank of VCO to religious teachers who were also attached to the education corps for the spiritual education of the army people. To provide syllabus and materials to this process, at that time he selected Gita as the least controversial, most common ethical book for all and also very small in size to read and understand. At this time he wrote booklet Gita as I understood it, mysterious truths convinced over ignorance, 10 booklets on Gita Gosthi and some more in this series of publications, which were highly appreciated by Mahatma Gandhi ji, Madan Mohan Malviya ji, Sri Hanuman Prasad Poddar ji and so many masters of that time. Mahatma Gandhi ji and Malviya ji were so much influenced from his writing that they wrote letters to Sri Hanuman Prasad Poddar ji to print unlimited copies of his works and distribute them freely among people. At that time, this was carried out to a great extent. During his service period, he got two respectful Kesar-e-Hind, Burma Star and India Service Medals from the army as a mark of honor. During his service period, he did his Ayurveda Vachaspati and BSc degrees from the University of Jhansi. In 1945, a radical change came in his mind towards using ethics taught in different religious books. He wrote booklet Right and Wrong by analyzing Gita in a very logical and radical way, making a 90-degree change in his own pattern of approaches. He thought that an entire removal of religious consequences from the mind and a replacement of natural ethical values can be more effective in designing a healthier social relationship. So he is approached for a post-religious thinking and life structure. As per the solicitation of an English Army official, he left the army job on 4th July 1947 after serving 7 years and permanently settled in Ranchi with his clinic. He many magazines and newspapers of the world in his approaches as humanitarian philosophy, moral findings, moral health, and his great invention, psycho-religious therapy, was published. The most cosmopolitan paper, Voice International, published from Sussex, England, published his world-famous writing, One Religion in Many and Humanitarianism, which attracted attention of many intelligent people throughout the world towards his approaches. This article was published in September 1963, issue of Voice International. After this publication, intelligentsia from all corners of the world started pouring their world-famous titles for him. In the same year, a wisdom group from UCC, UNESCO, came to Ranchi to discuss on his approaches. After whose decision, Dr. Sahib was awarded gold medal from his philosophy humanitarianism and accepted as an honorable member of the WCC. In the same year, the University of Ecuador awarded him 2 doctorate degrees, that is, D. Psychiatry and D. Phil, from his invention of psycho-religious therapy. In the same year, he was selected as a member of the WUR, World Round Table in UNESCO, member of the Temple of Understanding, UNESCO. He maintained a very simple family life without obeying the rituals of any sects, caste, religions. In 1935, while he was a student of BA standard, his father, banker Lala Malak Chand Kohli, completed the Hindu traditional marriage of his elder son Guljari Lal with a very beautiful girl Vaishno, daughter of Mistress Lakshmi Devi and Mr. Fakir Chand Anand of Mohanpura in the same city. From his very childhood, he had a strong attraction toward mysticism. So, marriage was a painful enforcement for the teenager Guljar to honor the tradition of family heritage. He did not protest it. Anyhow, he, by the positively solid cooperation of Vaishno Devi, maintained his life as a perfect sage, having no attachment with the material enjoyments in life. He was not in a favor of having a child as his own, as all other Indians long for. He used to say, a lot of human children are being wasted everywhere, being uncared and not getting proper love and service from the so-called parents. Why to produce more children to throw new filths on the hip of it? Rather, the existing children should be rationally patronized so that they can be lifted to the necessary human standard of life. The people will give birth of human children, and I will create education and conveniences to make them the true human beings. He used to wear a very simple pair of pajama kameez and a simple pair of slippers Really a very peculiar and lovely scene was often seen when Mataji Vaishno Devi was used to enforce him to change either a torn pair of suit or a dirty pair of suit with a washed pair. All the time he was seen making excuses not to get disturbed of his concentration, and Mataji used to wander after him by taking a washed pair of suit to replace. To every domestic bridal, he was used to peculiarly say, "Oh, theek hai," means it's all right. He was seldom found sitting on the chair, expected standing near a table, examining the patients or writing something. If he was asked why he was not sitting in your seat, he used to answer plainly, "The doctor is sitting his seat, sewing a pile of books like Charak Samhita or Ganesh of Dr. Honeyman, some books of Hippocrates, Life and Works on Medicine, kept on the doctor's chair unmovingly from a long since. In Ranchi and in entire South Bihar, he was famous as Hakim Ji, an Arabic term from a doctor, for his excellent command on treating the chronic and acute affections miraculously alive. In Ranchi, a very few were knowing about his great philosophical ground, as in his civil life he did not know do any such activities which could make people to identify his distinguished state of mind and thoughts for the removal of problems for the common man's life. He was equally loved by the Hindus, Muslims, Marxists and Christians of Ranchi. During the funeral procession, Hindus, Communists, Mohammedans and Christians accompanied the processions out of their love towards him. Of course, some bully people of Ranchi who were knowing that Dr. Sahib had through his own children tried to snatch the rented hut and all belongings from Mataji. After Kohli Sahab death on October 23, 1986, but anyhow they were convinced not to misuse the helpless and an old lady. In his whole life he earned to his sweat and spent all up to the last penny for the upliftment of the downtrodden of the society, as well as his creative systems of education and reformation invented by him for the solution of all types of world problems. On February 1963, Honorable Dr. E.N. Komarov with a challenge came to India to his philosophical discussion with the great masters of the country, but none accepted the challenge. As per the requests of His Holiness Swami Sivananda Ji Maharaj, the founder of Divine Life Society, Rishikesh, and Dr. Basanta Kumar Pandit of Bombay, Revered Dr. Sahab accepted the challenge and a debate was arranged in a hotel residency by the Ministry of External Affairs. Dr. Komarov absolutely melted during the debate and he returned to USSR with a great satisfaction. Again, Stephen S. Rogo, the Cultural Secretary of USSR, came to Dr. Sahib to have a longer discussion in so many topics, and He also returned to USSR with a similar satisfaction. Dr. Komarov opined, I assume, as if Karl Marx has warned again to make corrections in his own thinking. After this work, a lot of praising letters came to him from great masters of the country. With highest pleasure, His Holiness 108 Sri Swami Sivananda Ji Maharaj sent his message. The great task of elevating the moral and cultural atmospheres of the people could not have been entrusted by God, the supreme ruler, to better hands than you. He has started an university of truth, having two faculties in it. The first is the faculty of education and the second is the faculty of reformation. Along with so many subjects, the faculty of education teaches creative subjects, language of nature and the book of nature, discovered by Revered Dr. Sahib. He established that the nature itself is a book written in an unwritten script and unspoken language. Man is limited and deficient, so his ideas, ideologies are must to be incomplete and defective. The nature is infinite and perfect. That is why every natural phenomenon is perfect being, complementary to all others and the whole universe itself. The nature is lawful everywhere and in every moment. The man-made laws, man-made religions, man-made sects, man-made regions or nationalities, man-made gods and man-made temples have been created, hydra-headed and multifarious problems in the world by developing the sense of reading the book of nature. The human can develop a sense of understanding the ethical and universal law of nature governing the human life. And with this knowledge, while people would act accordingly, then problems in the life will be lessened. This will lead the human towards a state of perfection to build a problemless and defectless world. The reformer faculties is reached with Dr. Sahib's psychoscientific concept of psycho-spiritual therapy to make the human mind peaceful, creative and positive. Opposite situations and environment could put less or no effect on it if properly treated and conditioned by this technique. According to Dr. Sahib, criminal tendencies are two